Hello, everybody. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique, and I'm on a financial health journey to create an inheritance for the generations to come. I want to do that through consistency and discipline. Today is, why do I keep trying to look for it when it's right here? March the 29th, Friday, March the 29th. And I have a new paycheck, no, let's take that on back. I have a new week starting as far as my variable expenses and how I budget. And so we wanted to talk through that. I want to finish up last week's budget and make sure I close that out and then plan for this week's budget as well. So we have a lot to do today. Plus, I've got I need to look in my cash wallet, make sure everything is good there as well. So I'd like to thank everybody who's liked or commented on any of my videos. And especially those that have chosen to subscribe to my channel. I truly started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. So if you are rocking with me on this journey, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you haven't made up your mind yet, sit with me for a spell at the end of this video. If you find that this is content that you enjoy or find valuable, please feel free to subscribe. So a little bit about me, because I have gotten a few new subscribers. Thank you all. I'm over the 350 mark. Never would have thought it. So I appreciate you guys. I am a divorced mother of 3. I was married for 23 years. I have 2 older kids, adults. I call them my crumb snatchers. And then I have a junior in high school. And my ultimate goal is that when I leave here, when I leave this world, that I do not want to leave them in a difficult situation trying to handle or resolve or take care of things that I decided to make from a financial standpoint in my life. And so that is why we are here. I have moved from a bi-weekly paycheck budget to budgeting every week. I don't know what this ends up looking like, especially as I move into the month of March. But at the end of the day, I know that I need to get better control of unplanned expenses. Those have seemed to creep up a lot in 2024, where I did not have this much of an issue in 2023. So I need to nip that in the bud right now before it becomes too much. And so the way that I've chosen to do that is to plan every week now instead of doing a bi-weekly or a paycheck budget, because I find that I am less likely to spend money because I know I've got a week in there I still need to budget that I'm not going to get any money for. So let's go ahead and get started. What I decided to do was go ahead and write in all of the numbers for the budget week of March 22nd through the 28th. That should make my paycheck budget breakdown go a lot. I'm sorry, not paycheck. Here I go again. I've got this is a new mindset, new paradigm shift. You guys got to forgive me, but I was hoping that will make this week's budget closeout go faster. And so we'll get started in that in a minute. But let me cover, I think probably for the last time, because today is the 29th, my monthly calendar. I am working on putting one together for April, but this is the last one for March. So let's talk it out really quick. And what has cleared? What has cleared? Oh, my top. It fell. Apple Care has come out, but Gas South has not. So I'm going to go and take a look. If I'm not mistaken, it did post to the account. They just have not taken the money out. The majority of my bills are auto draft. And so I do need to check on that. I will check on this one because it still hasn't come out yet in this Friday. And my mortgage has already been paid, so I will cross that one out. All of these other items have already been taken care of that I had as tasks. And so even up there at the top, yep. So we're going to call March done. I will call on this one, but I should be okay. And then we're going to move on into April, and that monthly calendar video probably will be out sometime next week. Okay. All right. So let us get busy with the last week. So March 22nd through the 28th. Here are my numbers. Now, I did have to go back. If you looked at the budget with me video that I did for this particular week, a couple of these numbers were different. I had $500 here for variable expense account, and for rollover, I had $50. And I realized that was an issue. So rollover really should have account. And when I say it was an issue, I mean when I went to reconcile my numbers for the end of this week, and I did that off camera before I got on camera just to make sure I was good, the numbers were way off. And that's because I didn't treat these categories correctly. So in order to do a weekly budget instead of a bi-weekly, I had to bump this number down from $500 to $250. Basically, I only give myself $250 a week to cover all of my variable expenses. I was so used to writing 500 there because I was a bi-weekly budgeter that was causing an issue when I tried to close out this week and then move into next week. So I did change that number. And then rollover, I only had $50 because all I was accounting for was the rollover that I had for the previous paycheck period. But really, what I need to do is treat this rollover as what is in my bills account or in my variable expense account that I need to account for here, because if I end up having unplanned expenses, that's what it's hitting up against. And so I just needed to make sure that I had those numbers correct. And so I don't know how the last couple of weeks that I've done my budget for, I have to think through this. They're probably a little inaccurate, to be honest. I think this is going to be more of an accurate view of exactly what's in my bills account and what's in my variable expense account going forward. But we shall see. It is a work in progress for me. So those numbers look a little different. If you saw that budget with me, the total was $1,875. For the actuals, the only things that have changed is that Kim and Micah were able to give me a little bit extra money under when they got their money or got paid, and they help to contribute to the bills, and I take care of cell phones and student loans, etc. So that 180 was a little bit higher. That's why it's in green. Anything in green is good. Anything in red is bad. I had $14 that I rolled over from variable expenses from the last week's budget. And then I got $10 in interest from Ally, and I applied that to my sinking funds that have buckets in that bank account, in that savings account. So my total was $1,929, higher than the $1,875, so we're good. As far as my bills are concerned, I had OneDrive, Gas South, and mortgage. And the Gas South, although it hasn't hit yet, which we talked about when I reviewed the calendar, I know that the amount will be $101.35 or $102 because I am on a balanced budget kind of plan with them. So it's okay for me to go ahead and close this out even though it hasn't actually hit because the amount never changes. So that's where I come up with the total of $819. If you're new here, then tithes, pet insurance, car insurance automatically come out before I even write out this $1175 here. And so that's why I have them documented here, but you don't have any amounts. All right, as far as savings is concerned, I contributed $30 to my family savings binder, $94, which was an increase to challenges. High priority got $110, which was higher than expected. And then low priority came in at $20. So the total was $254. I do have that in green because I think if you save more or invest more, that's a good thing. All right, so the left side is good. Let's go to the right. So here I have changed my variable expenses. I used to only have 4 categories. Now I have 7, where I took my spend and I divided it up between money specifically for my daughter, Corinne, the high schooler, myself, and then in dining out. With that said, under budget in gas by $7, under budget in groceries by $3. I am over budget in home, but I do have that highlighted. And the reason for that is because I do have 1 unplanned expense. Now, usually I had about 3 or 4 every week. So this is already helping because I only have 1. I had to buy a water filter. I don't know why I said Walmart filter. It's actually a water filter, but I bought a water filter. Don't allow. I don't need them to listen to my microphone. I actually bought 2 water filters. So story time. So I bought a water filter for my refrigerator. That is not accounted for anywhere in my budget. You won't see that documented anywhere because there is a separate account that I have where I had some money set aside, and it was specific for this for some home stuff. And so that's what I pulled it out of. It was about $55. I know I bought the right one. Let's just go ahead and get that established. I buy it from Amazon. I buy the same one. It's purple and white. They show you the last time you bought it, so I know it was the right one. Bought it, got it in, put it in. All of a sudden, the water supply line that leads to the water thing on the outside of the refrigerator doesn't work. I've taken it out. I've put it back in. I tried to look under my refrigerators to see if I can see what the problem is, and I don't see it. The water line that leads to the ice maker works. And so I still needed the filter. It wasn't a bad expense or a wasted one, because I want that water to be filtered that makes the ice. But now the water thing in the front of my refrigerator doesn't work anymore. So then I had to go back to the store, and I went to Walmart and got a actual water pitcher that has the filter on it. I got a 30-gallon one. We don't need much here. And so I got that. And so that was a secondary expense, and that's what this is. The first water filter for the fridge, not documented here. It's a separate account. Did not use bill money for that. Did not use a credit card for that. When I went to Walmart to get this water pitcher, I also picked up some home supplies. That was $17. That's why you see this broken out into two amounts, and that's why you see the $17 highlighted, because that really is home expense. So I got that. Plus, I spent another $21 later on some additional home items. So that's why I'm over in home by $8. Then Corinne got her snack money. She used that. She also spent her $10 that I had in cash for her as well. I did not really spend any of my money, the Monique category here, nor did I really spend any for dining out. We actually cooked. I cooked every day. It was kind of difficult. She's in a musical showcase. And last night was the first night. She did great. She sung Mama, I'm a Big Girl Now from Hairspray, and she did Holding Out for a Hero from Footloose, and she did really, really well. But anyway, she's had practices until 8 p.m. And so what I've been doing is I cook as soon as I get off work, and then have that food ready, then go to the high school, piddle around for a little while, and then come back home and it's already ready for her to eat. And so we've not had to eat out where I thought we were going to. So that's been good. Every single night we did not eat out. I'm excited about that. But the money that you see here is for the tickets. So I did not account for having to buy the tickets, and the tickets are $12 a piece. So I bought tickets for myself and my suites for last night's show. I took $14 from my money, and I took $10 from dining out since we didn't eat out, and that's the showcase tickets that you have there. So it is for tickets, and we needed to make sure we accounted for it here, but it's still a good news story because I did not spend my money frivolously. I'll say it that way. So the total is $232 when you add all of this up together. So if you take $232 from $250, you have $18 left. Now, I can do both, roll some money into my cash envelopes that I have in my wallet, and then I send some of it as a variable rollover to the next week's savings challenges. Since it's only $18, I'm putting that whole thing in my cash wallet envelope. So we'll kind of go over that, but in a minute. So I'm just keeping all of that in my wallet. I am going out of town next week, and I'll need every single dollar I can get to help with that. So that's how we'll account for that. And that's why it shows the total as $250 spent. And then we just talked about our unplanned expense here and the total of $35. All right, so let's write down some numbers here. 1929. For total income, bills is $819, expenses $250, savings $254. Unplanned is in the debt category, so I put it as $35. All right, so I was expecting to be under budget by $576 before. Let's see where we are. 1929 minus 819, 250. 254, and then 35 equals $571. Let's see, Make sure I have all those numbers right. Okay. All right. Not too bad. So 571. And we're going to take that 571. You know what? I'm going to take 550. So I'm going to take 550. We're going to go over now to the budget for March 29th through April the 4th. And let's write that in. So I'm going to write in 550. I want to try and build a natural buffer into this bills account, or cushion in there if I can, because a lot of the unplanned expenses I've had over the last several weeks has really eaten into that. All right. So bills account, $550 in there. I have $250 for my variable expenses. That's my second allotment for this particular paycheck period. So that's $250. I did get the $150 that I get for working the elections. So that did come in and hit my account already. And then I have $28 in coin exchange. So my coin tower is empty. I did cash it out for the end of March, and that would have been for about 6 months. I don't want you guys to think it was just since the beginning of the year. I think I started that in October. I'm trying to think through, but it's somewhere around the fall that I started to track it in this coin tower. And then I decided at the end of this quarter, I was going to go ahead and cash it out. And I did. It was more than that, but after fees, etc., and all that kind of stuff, I ended up with $28. So for my budget for this week, 550 plus 250 plus 150 plus 28 equals $978. That's what I'm working with. All right, the bills that I have for this coming week: Apple Care, have $4, Ring, $10, AHS is $43, and then electric is $106. So when you total those together, 4 plus 10, 43, 106 equals 163. Now, I am considering, and I don't know if anybody else does this, and I don't know if it actually makes sense. I am considering doing something a little different with the electric. I have a feeling in the few months to come, or probably starting next month, as summer really hits and it starts to get really hot, this electric bill is going to go up really, really high. And so what I have not considered before now, and I think I got this from, I don't know who I got it from, but I know I got it from somewhere, a content creator who has the utilities as a cash envelope, but then also another one for a buffer. And so I think I want to do that kind of around this electric bill. So my thought is, I budget $150 typical. Do I take the difference? So this time my electric bill came in at $106. Should I take that $44 and put it into some type of buffer so that I have that as extra when my electric bill is higher than the $150? The $150 is my average, but sometimes it's higher, of course, and sometimes it's lower. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to try, not in this period, but when I get paid for my next paycheck, to take $44 and put it aside as an utilities buffer, and I can pull from that when my electric bill is higher than $150. We shall see. But my total for bills is $163. Next, I try to take any money that I have as savings or rollover in some cases, and put that towards my savings challenges, etc. So this is an off week. I don't get paid this week, but I'm going to take $27 of that coin exchange money that I had, and I'm going to put it towards a self-care challenge scratch off that I'm doing. I'm going to take $100 from the money I got from the election, and put it towards high priority binder, specifically my property insurance, because that's going to be due again in May. I paid it for April already. You don't see that here because I use sinking funds for that. I just move it over from that account and pay it every month. So it's accounted for in my sinking funds. It's not accounted for in my budget that I do. In the weekly budget, but I'm gonna take 100 and put it in that property insurance, and I'm gonna take the other 50 and put it towards challenges. So this is probably should be 28 because it was $28 from my coins, and then that accounts for the money that I got from the elections and from my coin exchange. So 150 plus 28. I hit 29. So it should be 178. Okay, 178 is what I'm budgeting there. Next, this doesn't change. All of my categories and the amounts that I give to it, it always totals 250. And then Nelnet is the only debt that I have. So now Nelnet says that it's due on the 5th. And you notice that this paycheck or this weekly's budget, y'all work with me, says March 29th through April the 4th. Sometimes Nelnet comes out a little early. So I'm going to go ahead and account for it in this week just to make sure that the money is there. So that's the only debt that I have, $82. All right, so let's go ahead and write this out. I have 978 minus 163 for bills, minus 250 for expenses, minus 178 for savings, minus 82 for debt, and Lord knows, let's hope we don't have any unplanned expenses. All right, so let's see what we're looking like. 978 minus 163 minus 250 minus 178 minus 82 equals $305. So it's saying that I should have a rollover of 305. Wait, it says 223. Did I do something wrong? Hold on. Did I just hit something? Minus 163 minus 250 minus 178 minus 82 equal. Oh, I just hit something. Okay, 305. Under 305. All right, and that will be my rollover for that next week. So that is it for the budget. That looks pretty good. I am curbing my unplanned expenses for sure. And then as far as my wallet is concerned, my coins that I have from this last week's variable expenses. Let's go ahead and pull those out and get my tower started back up again because I need my change. I was actually pleasantly surprised at having saved in 6 months $28 worth of change. That wasn't a bad thing as far as I was concerned. Nickel, 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 nickel. And I've got more quarters, and those are definitely great when I have more quarters because that adds up fast. All right, there you go. So we have that in. Sorry for all the shaking, but now the tower has started again. I've got my cash for my from the coin exchange is already in there, and then for my wallets. So I will tell you guys very quickly that number one, you guys know that I had the zippered wallets, cash envelopes, hated those, right? And then I got some of the zipperless ones that we had, like the vellum ones, and I don't know what happened, but I went to grab my bag out of my I went to grab this out of my bag, and this was undone. And one of the envelopes, the money was like hanging out. It didn't fall all the way out, but it was hanging up, and that was enough to cause my anxiety to go through the roof. So I went to Amazon, and they have some that they offered that had the fold over here, and now life is complete. So as far as gas in my rollover, I have $25. I had a lot more money than this, but you know, we went to University of Tennessee at Chattanooga for the campus tour and I had to use money for that. And then this will go next week for sure when I go to South Carolina to visit family. Auntie is going to see Auntie's babies. This is the $10 that's left over. I gave myself 20. I took 10 to use for the tickets for the musical showcase. So I have 10 left over for eating out. And this will help next week. Personal, I had 20 that I gave myself. I already had 10. I used 14, so I have the $6 back. So I have $16 left as far as my personal rollover is concerned. And Corinne doesn't have anything, I'm sure. You know, if I give her 20, she gonna use her 20. She ain't playing around. So that's that. And then I don't have anything left over from groceries. And then savings. If I go, which I will be putting money in this before I leave to go to South Carolina, I'm gonna take some money from my auntie's babies family binder. I'm also going to take a little bit from either family fun or family vacation to put in here as well to help with expenses when we go to visit my mom and then my brother. I'm taking my mama and my auntie to see my brother. It's going to be a hot mess. And then for deposits. So I am starting to keep cash more. And because of that, I am going to need to take some money back to the bank. Case in point, at the end of this month, which I probably need to do now, is how much money, I'm glad I brought that up. So how much money did I save? Because we are at the end of the week. At the end of the month. So not B-Bucks here, March. March is supposed to be used for debt. This is my 2024 savings challenge for March. And I wasn't able to complete it all the way, but I was able to save, I believe, $150. And so let's count this up and make sure. And then this money should be going back to the bank. 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. $150 that should be going back to the bank. Now, I might do things a little differently. I might use this to help fund my envelopes, like my variable expense money, so that I don't have to take this to the bank. I can just use what I have in my variable expense account and substitute that for this cash. I'm not sure, but this is a good example of $150 that needs to go back to the bank so that I can make my debt payment, and I'll be paying this on my Discover card. So that's good. I'm glad we talked about that too. I'm going to figure out a way to fit that into my little A7 wallet, and we're going to mark this one as done and pull out my April. Okay, that is it. Thanks, everybody. I hope you guys were able to stick in to the end. I appreciate you. You guys have a good one.